Hello students, I am Vinita from Government Polytechnic, Bhagyapalli. Today I am going to explain small signal amplifiers. Right? So the contents are the features of small signal amplifiers, and small signal common emitter RC coupled amplifier. Third, the frequency response of RC coupled CE amplifier, advantages and disadvantages and applications of small signal common emitter RC coupled amplifier, and review questions on CE amplifier and multiple choice questions on RC coupled CE amplifier. The first is the features of small signal amplifiers. So here the small signal amplifiers, we will call it as are also called as voltage signal, voltage amplifier, signal amplifier. That is, we know that the small signal amplifier, that voltage and current. Here we are considering the voltage, so it is also known as voltage amplifiers. And for the large signal, it is a power. So here we are concentrate on the only a small signal amplifiers. So for this small signal amplifiers, we are using the transistor based only. So we know that for the amplifiers, the CE common emitter amplifier is only the most commonly used. Here also we will consider common emitter amplifier, that is transistor CE configured amplifier. So for the transistor used for the smallest signal amplifier, is size of the transistor is very small. So physical size is very small. And next, heat sinks are not required because less transistor heat dissipation. That is, heat sinks, why we are using heat sinks? We are using the heat sinks in order to protect the transistor from heavy dissipation. If you are using the power amplifier, so on that time the power dissipation is more, on the time we require the heat sinks. But for the small signal amplifiers, here the heat dissipation is very little, so therefore the heat sinks are not required here. And power handling capacity and power efficiency are also less in the small signal amplifiers. And next, small signal amplifiers operate in the active region. Active region, that is, we know that the transistor, it operates three regions, that is output characteristics of the transistor. There are three regions: active, saturation and cutoff. So we know that if the transistor is used as a switch, we'll use the saturation and cutoff regions. But for the amplifiers, we need the transistor is operates in active region only. Right? So therefore, for small signal amplifiers are operate in active region. And here small signal amplifiers, the current gain is more, that is high, greater than 100. The current gain means here the CE amplifier we are using. So current gain, we will say the ratio of the output current by input current. That is IC, output current, and input current is IB. So there is a ratio of IC by IB, we will call it as a current gain. So here current gain is more, and output resistance is also high, that is 4 ohms to 10 kilo ohms. And next, for the smallest signal amplifiers, the low resistance, input resistance is low, and also it amplifies the input voltage. Range is also small voltages, that is, we can say that is from microvolts to a few millivolts, that is input voltage is less, low input voltage. And also here for the smaller signal amplifiers, we are preferring the RC coupling is most commonly used. So why we are using RC coupling is most commonly used means, in the further using the RC coupling, we can get the excellent frequency response compared to other coupling elements. Suppose if we are using transformer coupling, means the frequency response is very poor. But for the small signal amplifiers, we need frequency response should be excellent, best. So therefore, we are choosing the RC coupling is for smaller signal amplifiers. And next, the small signal common emitter RC coupled amplifier. So here CE, common emitter. So common emitter means here first point, in common emitter amplifier there is a phase shift of 180 degree between input and output voltages. So the CE amplifier means we know that is the output voltage is 180 degree phase shift with input voltage. And next is voltage divider bias or self bias is used. So for common signal, that is the common emitter RC coupled amplifier, it uses the voltage divider bias, right? First we'll see the circuit diagram of this. This is the circuit diagram of RC coupled amplifier, right? Small signal RC coupled CE amplifier means CE. Here we are using the common emitter configuration. You see in the figure, it is a common emitter, right? Common emitter configuration. And we are using for the coupling here R and C, resistance and capacitor. So therefore it is a small signal, that is a voltage amplifier. So therefore this circuit is small signal common emitter RC coupled amplifier. So in this circuit, we'll see the what are the components are used here. Vs, it is the voltage source, that is the AC voltage source, and Rs is the resistance, source resistance, and C1, it is the input coupling capacitor. We'll say input capacitor or input coupling capacitor. And next VCC, that is collector voltage. This is DC voltage here, and we are giving the input AC, and also we are using the DC also for biasing. And R1 and R2 biasing resistors for the transistor operation. And CE is the bypass capacitor, RE is the bypass resistor, and C2 is the coupling capacitor C2. And here RL is also using, that is the load resistor, right? So here see this, the voltage divider bias or self bias is used. You observe here R1 and R2 are used for as a voltage divider bias. How we'll say the voltage divider here? That is the voltage across the R2, we can say V2, that is applied for the base of the transistor there. How will you get the V2 voltage? V2 equal to VCC, that is main DC supply VCC, into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. We'll get the voltage. That voltage is applied to the base of the transistor here. So these R1 and R2 forms the biasing circuit for the transistor. Why you need proper bias? Anyway, this amplifier, it is used in the active region. Means the operating point of a transistor amplifier here, it is fixed the middle of the active region, right? Middle of the active region. So it is the it is very important to see that operating point should not drift or should not shift, right? Suppose if it is the biasing is not proper, what happens? That operating point will shifts. Why means operating point shifts depends on the temperature also. So what happens if the temperature is increases, the transistor parameters such as VBE and current gain of a transistor and all, it will changes, and also collector current is also changes. Depending upon the temperature, if the temperature increases, collector currents and saturation current, VBE and the current gain and all are varies, changes. So what happens to the operating point? It is also changes. So in order to stable the operating point, the proper biasing should be used. We can stable the operating point on that time. So therefore, for this circuit, voltage divider is most commonly used biasing circuit in order to keep the operating voltage constant. Means fixed, stable, you can say. So what happens if the operating point will shifts? So we know that the operating point for this circuit is fixed middle of the active region, right? Due to some temperature, what happens if it is the biasing is not proper? What happens to the operating point? It may shift towards the saturation or it may shift towards the cutoff region. So what happens if it may shifts to the saturation region? For this amplifier we see input signal is sinusoidal signal. The output is also a pure sinusoidal but 180-degree phase shift because of CA amplifier. We'll get the undistorted amplified signal there. What happens if the Q point is shift towards the uh, active region? So what happens there? The positive portion of the output signal may clip off. So that is distorted waveform. Suppose if the due to a temperature, if the operating point is shift towards the cutoff region, what happens? Negative portion will clip off. So that is also a distorted. And so in order to get the undistorted amplified output signal, AC signal across the load, we should use the proper biasing in order to stable the operating point. Hence, for this circuit, we are using the voltage divider to keep the operating point stable for the proper biasing of the transistor operation. And next is operating. So next is input capacitor C1 couples the signal to the base of the transistor. So you see C1 is used, it is couples the input AC signal to the base of the transistor, right? So what happens? C1, we know that the property of the capacitor is it allows AC and it blocks DC, right? So it allows AC means whatever the DC content component present in the AC signal, it will blocks. Only AC signal is applied to the base of the transistor for the amplification. If the C1 is not used, what happens? We'll see. So if there is no C1, you assume that there is no C1. Directly the input AC voltage is applied to the base of the transistor through RS. What happens there? So what happens on that time? Whatever the DC content present in the AC signal, that is also entered to the base of the transistor for the amplification, and also whatever the source resistance, that resistance will shunts with the R2. Shunts means parallel with the R2. So what happens to the biasing on that time? It may changes the biasing conditions. If the biasing conditions will changes means the Q point is also varies. So it affects the operation of the amplifier circuit. So therefore C1 is necessary for this circuit. Next, emitter bypass capacitor CE is to provide a low resistance path to the amplified AC signal. So that is here the amplified AC signal, the CE, if CE is used, it gives the resistance path to the amplified AC signal. If it is bypass capacitor is not used, what happens? All the amplified AC signal, it will give the path through the RE, that is it flows through the RE. What happens? The drop will occurs there, that is VE voltage occurs. So the amplified AC signal will flow through the RE means what about the output signal? It may reduces. The output signal is reduces, the gain is also reduces. So therefore the bypass capacitor CE is used to provide a low resistance path to the amplified AC signal. Next, output coupling capacitor C2 couples the output of the amplifier to the load or to the next stage of the amplifier. Here C2 is used, right? So whatever the output signal, amplified signal, that will pass through the C2 to the RL if you are using the single stage. If we are using the two stage, on the time that signal will amplified signal will pass to the next stage of the amplifier, that is next for the input for the next stage. So C2, it allows only a AC amplified signal. It blocks whatever the DC present across the terminal collector, right? Only amplified AC signal will pass to the RL, that is load resistor. If the C2 is not used, what happens? Whatever the DC content present across the collector terminal, that is also passed through the RL, right? So it will affect the output voltage. Suppose if you are using the two stage, on that time what happens? That RC is the shunts with the input resistance of the next stage amplifier. So it will cause the effect, that is the loading effect. That is it, loading effect means it may changes the biasing of the next stage of the amplifier. So therefore we need C1, CE and C2 components, right? So RE is the bypass resistor, right? Bypass resistor, and RC is the collector resistance, and the time there only we are taking the output, right? The low RL is the load resistor. Across the load resistor we'll get the amplified AC output voltage. That is last point, you see, amplified AC voltage, output voltage appear across load resistor RL. So this is the working of the CE amplifier and also the function of the each component present in the CE amplifier. So for this CE amplifier you apply the superimpose the AC signal with the DC bias, right? So we'll get the amplified AC signal across the load resistor, that is the output voltage appear across the load resistor, right? So next we'll see the frequency response of the coupled RC coupled CE amplifier. The frequency response of an amplifier is plot between the voltage gain and frequency is as shown in the frequency response curve. So this is the frequency response curve, right? So you see the x-axis, that is the frequency, and the y-axis, it is the gain. So this is the plot between the gain and the frequency. This is called frequency response curve, right? So next, the frequency response curve. The performance of an amplifier depends upon its frequency response. So for any amplifier, the performance we can gauge by frequency response. Suppose, for example, you take the audio amplifier, right? So if you take the audio amplifier, the amplifier designing, we must take the care that in that specified frequency range, the gain should be constant, right? If the gain should be constant for that specified frequency range, on that time we can amplify the signals undistorted very easily there. That is, in the frequency response, you see here in this frequency response, the some frequency range, it is the maintains the output voltage gain. So that is the range, we will call it as a usable frequency range. We can say that is also called as bandwidth, we can say. So we'll come to the bandwidth later. Here you see this point here, the performance, right? It depends upon the frequency response only. Suppose if you take the audio frequency means, audio amplifier means, the frequency range is, usable frequency range is, we know that audible frequency range is 20 Hz to a 20 kilohertz. In that range, this amplifier, it is able to amplify the speech signals, right, or any music signals that in audible range, right? That is called frequency response. So here we will see the frequency response curve now. So FL, that is the lower frequency cutoff frequency, and FH, it is the higher cutoff frequency range. So in between the range FL to FH, it is the range of frequency where the amplifier voltage gain, it maintains constant, or we can say it is the uniform, right? So that is maintains the constant there. So if it is constant voltage gain in that range, we will call it as a, that is the bandwidth, right? That is called band. So next is the lower frequency here. It's the lower and higher frequencies gain is reduces because of the capacitive reactance inversely proportional to the frequency. You see here in the frequency response curve, what happens in the lower frequency and the higher frequency, the gain is reducing there, right? So Y means the capacitive reactance. That is, we know that in the CE amplifier, that is RC coupled CE amplifier, we are using the coupling capacitor and the bypass capacitor. So this capacitor reactance is given by capacitive reactance, that is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi Fc, that is measured in ohms, right? So that is, the reactive capacitance is inversely proportional to the frequency. inversely proportional. Inversely proportional means if the frequency low, the reactance is high. Suppose if the frequency is high, the reactance is low. So using this concept here, at lower and higher frequency, gain is reduces because of the capacitive reactance inversely proportional to the frequency. We'll see how it is reduces at the lower frequency and the higher frequencies because of these capacitance reactances. So first, its frequency response is drop off at very low frequencies, less than 50 Hz, that is due to the coupling capacitors and the bypass capacitor. That is C1 and C2 are the coupling capacitors and CE is the bypass capacitor. How the frequency response is drops? Frequency response is drops means magnitude, that is gain. Gain is reducing. How the gain is reducing in the lower frequencies depending upon the because of this capacitance reactance. You see here C1 is used input side, right? So if low frequency means what about the reactance of the C1? It is high because capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to the frequency. So therefore, if low frequency means capacitance reactance is high. If the high capacitive reactance means it allows only a small portion of the AC signal there to the base for the amplification. So input is small, right here. So input is small. And what about the C2? We'll see. C2 is also, if it is reactance of the C2 also very high at the lower frequencies, at very low frequencies. So what happens? It is also allows the small amount of AC amplified signal to the load, right? What happens to the output? It reduces. So if the output is reduces, what about the gain? Gain is output by input voltage. So what happens to the gain there? Output is reducing means gain is reducing. So due to this one effect, gain is reducing. And we'll see the bypass capacitor. What about the bypass capacitor? If the bypass capacitor is the reactance is very high at low frequencies, right? Means what happens? All the amplified AC signal will pass through the RE on that time. So what happens on that time? Voltage drop will be higher there. So voltage drop will be higher means the output AC amplified signal will lowers. So output voltage is lowers means gain is also lowers. So therefore at the frequency response, the lower frequencies, the voltage gain is drops, right, due to coupling capacitors. And also at high frequency response also drop off at higher frequencies greater than 20 kilohertz due to the shunt capacitances and also little bit depending upon the coupling capacitors also. We'll see here, right? First CE. So due to main CE, what happens at a higher frequencies means reactance is low. If low reactance means what happens here? It will increases the IB, right? That is, it will very important role of this emitter, capacitance of the emitter diode is it increases the IB. If it is increases the IB, what happens? The gain we know that is output by input current gain. The current gain is what happens to current gain? It reduces. So therefore the voltage is gain is also little bit decreasing. And also you see the coupling capacitors. If the coupling capacitor C1, if the higher frequency means what happens? Lower reactance. Lower reactance means it will act as a short circuit on that time. It will act as a short circuit means what happens? A little bit DC voltage is also passed to the base of the transistor, right? Similarly, C2, if the C2 is acts as a short circuit, what happens there? The loading effect will comes, right? RC is RL, right? RC and RL loading effect will come. So loading effect, due to that loading effect also output voltage is reduces there. If you are using two stage, due to loading effect, the input for the next stage is reduces. So overall gain is reduces on that time. So because of these capacitive reactances, we can say at the lower and the higher frequency regions, the gain is reducing, right? So the frequency range between the FH and the FL, we are taken as bandwidth, that is usable frequency range. In that range our voltage gain is maintains constant. How means here at mid frequencies the effect of coupling capacitor and bypass capacitor is such that it maintains the constant voltage gain. That is, whatever the effects of higher frequency and lower frequency of the capacitive reactances, they will get cancels each other, so they maintain the constant voltage gain. This is the frequency response of the CE RC coupled amplifier. And the bandwidth of the amplifier is defined as the difference between the FL and the FE. That is the upper cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency will get the bandwidth that is measured in the hertz. That is the usable frequency range. And these points FL and FU, that is the lower cutoff and higher cutoff frequencies, are also called as off power frequencies, because gain or output voltage will drops 70% of that maximum value. If we are plotting the graph between the gain in decibels, means that is 3 dB lowers, right? So this is the about the frequency response of an RC coupled amplifier, right? So next, advantages. Advantages of the RC coupled CE amplifier. What is the advantages? First one is less expensive, as RC elements are used for coupling. Here coupling used is RC elements, that is resistor and capacitor. So these are reasonable, that is less expensive and also easily available. So therefore less expensive, as RC elements are used for coupling. Next is provides a wide and flat excellent frequency response at the middle frequencies, that is audio frequencies, right? It provides the flat excellent response due to the capacitive elements used in the circuit, right? And next, not affected by the drift and hum. Drift means a minor changes. If there is any minor changes in the output or input, it doesn't make difference, right? And also it is not affected by the hum. Hum means we'll say some sound like guzz sound. So if the sound like that, also it is not affected to the RC coupled CE amplifier. Little bit affected, it is not much affected, right? And also it provides less frequency distortion. The frequency distortion is also lower. And next, disadvantages. So first one is does not provide impedance matching between stages, right? So due to this, that is we can say poor impedance matching. So due to this disadvantage, we cannot use the RC coupled CE amplifier, the final stage of the transmitters or receivers, right? So final stage means we need impedance matching. For the transmitter, for example, you consider for the transmitter, the output of the any amplifier, the last stage, that it is power amplifier only, that is last stage should match with the impedance of the loudspeaker on the time. So poor impedance matching means what happens? The signal level will drops, right? So we say that poor impedance matching means the maximum power transfer will not takes place there. So therefore it does not provide the impedance matching. We cannot be used RC coupled amplifier in the last stages of the transmitters. And next is become noisy with age and in humid. Humid means moist environment, so it will becomes little bit noisy. And next is low voltage gain, low power gain, and also a low efficiency. So due to these disadvantages, we can't use the final stages of the transmitter there. So next, applications of the RC coupled amplifier. First thing is in all audio signal amplifiers we can use, because in the audible frequency range it shows the excellent frequency response. So the frequency response, the performance of any amplifier will say depending upon the frequency response only. So therefore it is used in the all audio signal amplifiers, and it is used in the record players and tape recorders. And also it is used in the initial stages, that is only initial stages, not the final stages. It is used in the initial, means starting stages of the public address system or any transmitters and all, and used in the radio and TV receivers, and it is used in the preamplifiers and also in instrumentation amplifiers. So these are the applications of the RC coupled amplifiers. So next, review questions. So these are the assessment questions for the students. Just summarize whatever now explained. First thing, list out the features of RC coupled amplifier. So what are the RC coupled amplifier features? So we can say all voltage amplifiers are also called as small signal amplifier, and here in the small signal amplifier the input voltage is very less, that is few microvolts to a millivolts, and also high current gain, right? Output resistance is high, right? And also for the RC coupled amplifier means we are using the coupling is RC, right? That is one of the feature there. And transistor size, we are dealing with the voltage there, so therefore the physical size of the transistor is small, and also heat dissipation is less. Due to the less heat dissipation, heat sinks are not required for this RC coupled amplifier. So these are the important features of the RC coupled amplifier. And sketch and explain the frequency response curve of an RC coupled amplifier. So you have to sketch the frequency response of the RC coupled amplifier, and you have to tell that why the gain will drops at higher and lower frequencies. Why? Because means capacitive reactances. You have to tell that due to the coupling capacitors and bypass capacitors, it is drops off at lower and higher frequency, and at mid frequency the frequency response, the voltage gain is maintained constant. And also you tell that what is the bandwidth in that is bandwidth is the usable frequency range. How will you find the bandwidth? Using the frequency response curve, the lower cutoff frequency and higher cutoff frequency. The difference between the higher cutoff frequency and the lower cutoff frequency will get the bandwidth. So next, mention advantages. So RC coupled means RC is reasonable, the cost is less, and also next advantage is less affected by a hum or a drift, right? And also it is a advantage of this RC coupled amplifier is we will get the flat or excellent frequency response from this. So these are the major advantages of the RC coupled amplifier. And disadvantages, mention the disadvantages. What is the disadvantage? The very much disadvantage is poor impedance matching. See, the poor impedance matching, right? And also noisy with age, and lower voltage gain, current gain, and also power gain, and also lower efficiency. And next, applications, we'll say next mention the applications of RC coupled amplifier. We can use in the audio amplifiers, and also we are using the tape recorders, right? And also we are use the initial stages of the public address system or transmitters, or radio and TV receivers, right? And instrumentation amplifier and pre-amplifiers. These are the major applications of the RC coupled amplifier. Let's list out the features, right? So we already discussed that question. Multiple choice questions. So multiple choice questions here. RC coupling is used for dash amplification. So RC coupling amplifier here, where RC coupling is used means small signal. Small signal here, major amplification we are dealing here, gain, voltage gain and all. So therefore RC coupling is used for voltage amplification. So answer is A. Next question, the lower and upper cutoff frequencies are also called dash frequencies. So lower and upper cutoff frequencies will give the bandwidth, right? So therefore we can say off power points. Off power, the option D is the answer. Next, third question, in an RC coupled amplifier, the voltage gain over the mid frequency range. So in the mid frequency range, what happens to the gain, voltage gain of the RC coupled amplifier? So we know that in the frequency response of an RC coupled amplifier, at lower frequency and higher frequency voltage gain is drops, right? At the mid frequency, what happens? Due to the capacitive reactance of the capacitors, input capacitor and output capacitor, coupling capacitors and CE capacitors, what are the effects? They may get cancel each other. So on that time the voltage gain is maintained constant, right? So therefore answer B is the correct answer for this question. Next question. Small signal amplifiers operate in dash region. So small signal amplifiers. So amplifiers are used in which region of the characteristics of the transistor? Cutoff and saturation we are using for the switch. Transistor used as a switch. It is not used for the amplifiers. And all of the above is also wrong. So small signal amplifiers operate in the active region. Why active region? In order to get the undistorted amplified output signal, right? So therefore the operating point is fixed the middle of the active region, right? Next question. The purpose of RC or transformer coupling is used. So RC means capacitor, if you are using means blocking AC is not correct answer because it allows AC and blocks DC. And also increased thermal stability is also not answer. So as coupling is used in order to isolate, right? In order to isolate, that is separate the bias of one stage from another. If you are using two stage there, what happens? If the output coupling capacitor is not there, it will affect the loading effect to the next stage input, right? So therefore in order to separate the bias of one stage from another stage. So these are the things regarding small signal amplifiers. Thank you.